Good evening. Melissa Johnson here for episode 68 of Melissa Loves to Talk. Today is April 6th, 2026. Hope you had a great weekend and a great Resurrection Sunday. I was on this weekend. I was at my friend's house, so my background was a little different. I just set this up so I didn't hang my flag up, but by the next time I am on, I'm going to, because I like it way better hanging up. It's just I have to take the picture on my wall back here off the wall to hang it up, and then either keep swapping it out or put my picture somewhere else. So that's something I have to figure out. But I do like it set up that way a little bit better than this, because you can't really see it. It's just covering my chair because my chair is a weird background. So anyway, I talked about, of course, Good Friday and Resurrection Sunday and all of those things. Today, I do want to talk a little bit about the election because tomorrow is the special election runoff day for Marjorie Taylor Greene's seat. So I do want to make sure everyone that lives in that district, District 14 in Georgia, please get out and vote tomorrow if you have not early voted. That is a very important seat. Right now, we only have a 2-majority seat in the House. So that would give us a third, at least to get us through to, the midterms. And so we really need that seat. We have got to keep the majority. That is what I am talking a lot about today, is when they tell you who they are, you need to believe them. So most of you, I would assume, had watched the State of the Union. Okay. Now, people can say whatever they want about Trump. Okay. He's this, he's that, whatever. But he cares about Americans. He cares about America. And he showed a lot of people, the hockey team. He had some of the people that have had some awful things done to them by illegals and or people that should be in jail and they were let out because of the soft on crime policies. And the Democrats stand for none of these things, right? They couldn't even stand for our hockey team. They represent the United States. Okay, you don't want to stand for all the other things. At least stand for the American team that won gold to represent America, right? They hate America. We just need to understand that. There's not a better Democrat. If you vote for a Democrat, you're voting for people that hate America. There's no way around it, okay? I get Republicans are weak a lot, okay? But they are not trying to transition your kids. They're not trying to have open borders. They're not trying to have abortion up to birth. They're not doing all these things. Okay. These are our main things that we care about. Okay. There's no arrest. There's no this. There's no that. Okay. True. Okay. Two things can be true at the same time. Okay. Yes, they're not doing all the things we want them to do. Get it. But they won't do the things we don't want done, right? Like I said, trans our kids, open the borders wide. They're going to impeach Trump. I'm going to show you a clip. That's literally what he says they will do if they get majority back. That's their plan. And then I'm going to show you a couple clips throughout the State of the Union. Okay. If you watched it, I'm sorry, but maybe there's people that did not watch it and did not see this. Okay, you're going to see the Democrats stand up for no one. They hate us. They hate this country. We cannot let them get majority. I don't care if you're mad at the Republicans right now. You know what we can do? We can primary the rhinos, get in better Republicans. Okay. There are better Republicans. There's no better Democrats. They're all the same. They stick together. They're all going to vote together. They're all out for the same thing. You'll see no one's standing. It's not like a loner. Oh, they might be okay. No, they don't stand. I think Fetterman did stand for some of the things, and then some of them stand when he asked about we need to end, don't we need to end, or something like that about inside trading, sorry. And some of them stand for that. That's the extent of what they stand for. So the policies that are in place right now are from the Democrats. The reason why people are being killed by illegals is because the border was wide open for 4 years. The day he got signed in, waved in, pushed in, whatever happened, he signed an executive order to open the borders the day he was sworn in. And the day it closed was the day Donald J. Trump got sworn in. So for 4 whole years, that border was wide open. And that's why we're having all these things happen. Every single day, you will hear about someone being murdered by an illegal. The other day, a 7-month-old was murdered in the stroller. Her mother was pushing her down the sidewalk in New York City. She was killed by a drive-by. They were on bikes or something. And every single day, no Democrats are going to care about you, no matter what you think about them. Okay? So I'm going to play a clip. They literally say it, which means you need to believe it. If they're saying it on the news, they're not joking. Okay? So here we go.
You who they are, especially lunatics like this guy, Ro Khanna, who's one of the biggest fakes up there, by the way. Ro Khanna. I've never heard a peep from this guy again when all that stuff was going on. He claims to be like this big warrior for transparency. He's full of crap. Here he is telling you, hey, man, Donald Trump, they are going to impeach him. The reason I'm bringing this up here, by the way, in context of the True Social post in the beginning, is they are prepping war crimes nonsense right now. And I guarantee you that True Social post, everybody's offended about the language, whatever. I can guarantee you that's probably going to be Exhibit A. Why? Because they basically tell you what they're going to do. You should just listen to them. Check this out.
Win the House and possibly the Senate in November, there's a better than even chance Donald Trump gets impeached again.
Absolutely. He should be impeached now. I mean, he's taken us into a disastrous war, threatening war crimes in Iran. In terms of knocking out plants and knocking out electricity. And the Democrats will impeach him once we take back the House and should impeach him for all the things he's done. And depending on the Senate, he may face conviction if we get to 60, especially if his numbers keep going down and the Epstein issue continues to be a vulnerable.
Oh, here we go again.
Sorry, I had to move and I forgot to move my mic back. See, they said they will impeach him. He should be impeached because of war crimes. What war crimes? No war crimes has happened. He has not hurt any civilians. He has done nothing that would be war crime-ish. But this is what they do. They make up things. This is what they do. Anything they can find. They hate Trump so much that they are willing to do whatever. This is why we have to get out and vote. He said their priority. They get in power, Trump's getting impeached. If they get the Senate, or at least can get some of the rhinos to vote with them, because guess what? They don't even have to be in charge. They just have to get enough people to get to 60. Which, mind you, they'll probably nuke the filibuster and they won't need 60. So there's that. We need to get majority over 60. So we can do it because a third of the Senate is up for re-election. So we can do it. We can flip those seats and get it to be where it's a comfortable 60, where we know, okay, you're going to probably get a rhino or two that are still in there because it's only a third of the Senate that's up for re-election because they're in there for 6 years. So there's only a third of them. So we can only do what we can do. But the ones that are up, if we can flip the seats that are blue, red, Georgia, hopefully we can get him out of there, get a red person in there, right? And the seats that are already red, keep them red, or, keep the people in there, or primary them and get a better red person in there, right? These are the goals. We have to do it. You already just heard him clearly say it. He said it on national TV. They're not hiding it. It's not like it's a secret. They're going to impeach Trump. If they get majority in the Senate, they will press charges and try to lock him up. We'll be right where we were all over again. So for 2 years, nothing will get done. You're worried about stuff not getting done right now. Imagine that. He'll be in court. He will be getting nothing done. At least he's getting stuff done. Other stuff might not be getting done, but at least Trump's getting stuff done. If he's in court all the time, he will get nothing done. Right now, he's signing executive orders. He signed executive order to pay DHS because the Democrats won't open up DHS. They said, we are holding back because we want reforms done to ICE. So we don't care if TSA or the Coast Guard is not getting paid. We don't care. We just want to get rid of ICE because, hey, they need the illegals voting. I mean, it's obvious. Why wouldn't you, number one, pass the Save America Act? Right? Why wouldn't you? Because you want illegals in this country. You care about illegals, not American citizens. It's obvious. They have it available online. You can look at the whole Save America Act and you can see where they have it outlined for special things. If a woman is having a hard time changing her name, they have a way for you to do it. They are waiving fees. They are doing everything they can. It's on page, I think, 22, line 12, or page 12, line 22, either one. And it says, if you're a woman and you're having problems changing your name, you can't get your birth certificate, all the things, it's all in there. You can look it up, the whole thing. It's on the website to read the whole thing instead of listening to the parakeet that just keeps repeating lies. You can look it up yourself and see. They put in place things for people if they can't get an ID, change their name, whatever the place, it's all in place. So it won't be IDs. They're making them where they'll be free. You won't have to pay for an ID. Now, a license is different because you're going to have to take a test. You're going to have to pass a test. That's different. Okay. That's going to be the same process, but a state ID is all you need to vote. So that's going to be free. Which right now, 36 or 37 states, you have to have an ID anyway to vote. So it's only the other 13, 14 states that don't have ID that this is going to be a problem. So all the states that already, it's a thing, they already have an ID. They're already registered to vote. They're probably okay to be voting. So why do they care? Because they want illegals voting, because they need their votes. They have no policy. What is their policy? I hate Donald Trump. That's their policy. Orange man bad, right? That is their policy. We got to take down Donald Trump. That is their policy. That is not a policy. Oh, let's trans your kids. Let's have abortion up to birth, open borders. That's their policies. Nobody wants those policies. I'll play another clip from Dan Bongino. Hopefully someone didn't watch this today because this is from his show today, where he says all this stuff. And he's going to say some more things about affordability. Okay. I know everybody keeps saying affordability. I get right now gas is high. I get it. But he's going to explain a little bit on the gas situation and blue states. Okay.
With the Epstein issue and this guy who, by the way, I never heard from when the thing was going on, or on the website or comments. And I've heard some people fairly enough a jerk about it. You're pretending the Democrats are principled if you believe that. Like, surely they wouldn't do that again. It backfired, the weaponization and lawfare, so badly that Trump kicked their ass in a presidential election again. They're not thinking that way. These people are not thinking.
Yeah, he's talking about them. Of course, people are saying, no, they'll never try to impeach Trump again. And they literally just said it. Like he said, they are not principled. They don't care. I have to find exactly where he starts talking about the blue states. Sorry.
Thinking that way. And everybody said they love it, so everyone must love that. They don't. TDS, whatever it is. There is something about Donald Trump that leads to this, what I call show your ass theory, where if you want to be credible and have like street cred, you want to be down, whatever, in the Democrat Party, if you want to be seen like AOC and Bernie, like you're an authentic, you're it, you're genuine, you're the real deal. You have to say increasingly deranged things about Donald Trump. You have to basically show your ass to the public. And then people will celebrate you on Twitter and elsewhere, which has become dominated by rage.
Okay, that's what I was saying about everybody. That's their policy, is hate Donald Trump.
Bots. So people get this artificial elevation of like, I call Donald Trump Hitler, and everybody said they love it, so everyone must love it. New York, that's going to limit the SALT deduction again to make them pay higher taxes. What the hell?
I went too far.
And then people will celebrate you on Twitter and elsewhere, which has become dominated by rage bots.
Sorry, I went too far. I went back. I'm sorry.
So people get this artificial elevation of like, I call Donald Trump Hitler, and everybody said they love it, so everyone must love that. They don't. They are going to go out and impeach this guy. You're dealing with a party that deals only in emotion. They are not anchored in any principles. They will flip their principles on a dime. I was just reading an article, was it Friday in the Wall Street Journal about, do you remember that SALT deduction, state and local taxes? The SALT deduction was a tax cut for wealthier folks on their state and local taxes. They could write them off. Now, you say, well, why the hell would the Democrats want a tax cut for wealthy people? Because it was blue states that have really high state and local taxes. I thought the Democrats don't like tax cuts. The Democrats don't have principles. I'm trying to tell you this. The Democrats care about power. A lot of rich liberals in these blue states were bitching about their SALT deduction not being high enough, that they had to pay
Sorry about the language.
more taxes, and they changed their mind. The only reason I bring it up is now there's another a bill moving through in New York that's going to limit the SALT deduction again to make them pay higher taxes. What the hell? First, they don't want tax cuts. Then they want a tax cut. Now back again, they don't want the tax cut. They don't believe in anything. They believe in rage and power. That is the whole bedrock of collectivism. The idea that you should organize and centralize power to abuse it. Folks, we have this contrast of visions going forward, as Thomas Sowell pointed out in his book. We got to make a choice in these midterms and these presidential elections. I had a friend reach out to me this weekend and said, you know who you are. He's a pretty famous guy, but he was an athlete, super nice guy. He was talking about, hey, do we feel like all this is fixed? I said, hell no, is this fixed? Government's never fixed. If men were angels, Federalist 51, we're not. You get another group of people in power, ladies and gentlemen, they bring their own people in there, people or policy. The only thing you can do with government is put guardrails on them and hope they hold. Bad people are going to do bad things. The only thing you can do is get rid of as many bad people as possible. We have this massive conflict of visions going forward. And I've never seen it more summed up by the whole, which I think is a good thing. I don't think the government should be the lead agency on a lot of this stuff. But there is a role for space when it comes to defense. And there's no doubt the government has to be involved. The space is the.
Okay. He's talking about Artemis 2 now, which, again, this is a problem that the left does. So I am going to play this, and then I'm not going to keep going because I don't know where it is what I'm looking for. So, but I am going to play this because this is very interesting.
The new warfare frontier. Trust me, the government needs a footprint in space. Here's Sky News covering the launch on Artemis. And I want you to notice what they're focused on the launch. And tell me if this is a party you want to be a part of. Check this out.
Yeah, and they are going for all humanity this time. Apollo was all white men, and this time it's not. And I think that really speaks volumes for the journey that NASA has been on. And this is a much more representative crew. And you can feel emotional about that.
Holy Moses, folks, do you have any idea how many minorities have been to space? Not that it matters, because this guy doesn't give a damn. He doesn't care. This is all.
He's gonna play what the black gentleman says that did go on Artemis. So I'm gonna play through to that, and then we'll go to something else.
All these people care about. And it's not because they actually care about minorities or people who are gay. They see it as a weaponization tool to keep people pissed off as victims so that everybody hates each other and they can come in as the government and fix it all through social welfare programs and other things. Now I want you to listen to one of the astronauts, this gentleman, Victor Glover. He's asked kind of a similar question about this identity politics stuff. And he's like, hey, man, can we just start focusing on human beings and stuff, doing big things? What the hell which vision? I don't know this guy's politics. I don't care. I'm just asking you a question as my audience, trying to prove the point. These people don't care on the left about any stuff. It's all about inducing rage in you. Oh my gosh, white men in space. It's all they talk about all the time. They don't have anything else. There's no principles here. Check this out.
It is a big question, and I want to highlight, I guess, maybe one facet of this is the tension, I call it. I live in this, this dichotomy between happiness that a young woman can look at Christina and just physicalize her passion or her interest, or even if it's not something she wants to do, she can just be like girl power, and that's awesome. And that young brown boys and girls can look at me and go, hey, he looks like me and he's doing what? And that's great. I love that. But I also hope we are pushing the other direction, that one day we don't have to talk about these first, that one day this is just, and I listen to this, that this is the human history. It's about human history. It's the story of humanity, not black history, not women's history, but that it becomes human history.
Amen, man.
Exactly. Another thing the left loves to do, right? Say how racist white people are, how sexist white people are, how xenophobic, Islamophobic, all these things, right? That's another thing the left likes to push. And this gentleman said, can't we just be humans, have human history? We're all humans. That's what it should be about. Not if you're a woman, not if you're colored, just human history, right? Why does it always have to be about color or if you're a woman? I mean, I don't understand the left. The left doesn't know what a woman is unless they want to push an agenda, right? You ask the Supreme Court justice what a woman is. She says, I don't know, I'm not a biologist. But now wants to push women can't vote because they can't change their name on their ID. Thought you said you didn't know what a woman was. Now all of a sudden you know what a woman is. Oh, but you're making women stupid, saying we don't know how to change our name. I'm going to say I've been married twice. So I've had to change my name twice. Yes, it is an extra step. Okay. But you know what you do? You go to the DMV, you give them your marriage license, they change your name, even if you're married again, because your ID will say your last name that you're married, your married name. Okay. So my name was Magnus, then it was Wise. Okay. So I went and I changed my name, then it was Wise, then I got married again. They just change it. They're not going to be all crazy. If by chance they do want you, like would have wanted me to prove that I was divorced and then remarried, okay, it is a little hiccup. Something I did have to do that for. I do not remember what it was for, but I almost want to think it was to get remarried. That's why I needed my divorce papers. I don't think it was for my ID. I think it was to get remarried because I got remarried in another state. So they couldn't just look it up in the database. So I had to have my divorce papers. Not when I got an ID or my license or whatever. Didn't need it. Okay. You're going to have to do that to change your name legally anyway, because you have to do that through Social Security. That's the only way your name legally changes, is going through Social Security. Realistically, if you don't go through Social Security, you don't need to change your name on your license or your ID because your name's not legally changed. So they're making it very difficult for no reason. It is very absurd what they're going through to keep power. And people keep falling for it. But I'm going to show you a couple clips from the State of the Union, and you can just see the Democrats for yourself.
Invasion to happen before I got involved, but indeed they would do it all over again if they ever had the chance. If they ever got elected, they would open up those borders to some of the worst criminals anywhere in the world. The only thing standing between Americans and a wide open border right now is President Donald J. Trump and our great Republican patriots in Congress. Thank you. Thank you.
No Democrats standing because they want wide open borders.
As we speak, Democrats in this chamber have cut off all funding for the Department of Homeland Security. It's all cut off. It's all cut off. They have instituted another Democrat shutdown, the first one costing us 2 points on GDP. 2 points we lost on GDP, which probably made them quite happy, actually.
Yes, of course, because that means that we're losing money, and the Democrats use this against him, saying it's his fault.
Now they have closed the agency responsible for protecting Americans from terrorists and murderers. Tonight I'm demanding the full and immediate restoration of all funding for the border security, homeland security of the United States, and also for helping people clean up their snow. We have no money because of the Democrats, and it would be nice, we'd love to give you a hand at cleaning it up, but you gave no money. Nobody's getting paid. It's a shame. So you have to think about it. We have, in case you didn't know, a pretty large snowstorm out there. One of the great things about the State of the Union is how it gives Americans the chance to see clearly what their representatives really believe. So tonight I'm inviting every legislator to join with my administration in reaffirming a fundamental principle. If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
I am going to play this because you'll see how long he waited to see if they would stand, and they did not. Okay.
Isn't that a shame? You should be ashamed of yourself not standing up. You should be ashamed of yourself. That is why I'm also asking you to end deadly sanctuary cities that protect the criminals and enact serious penalties for public officials who block the removal of criminal aliens. In many cases, drug lords, murderers all over our country, they're blocking the removal of these people out of our country, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
There you go. They only care about illegals. She's yelling at him about the Somalis in Minnesota and whatever happened in Minnesota. Meanwhile, she doesn't care about all the illegals that have flooded in here and are killing American citizens. He literally just said, if you think the government should care about American citizens and not illegals, stand. Nope, not one of them stood. He waited a minute and a half until he finally said, this is pathetic. You're pathetic, is pretty much what he was saying. You don't care about American citizens. You care about illegals. If that isn't a reason to vote for Republicans, I don't know what to tell you. All of them are the same. You can't say, I'll just vote for a different Democrat. There is no better Democrat. They're all the same. They stick together. Besides Fetterman, which I'm not sure what's going on with him, but you will not get another one that's like him because they're probably going to get him removed as soon as he can get removed. I'm not sure when he's up. I guess in 2 years, he's up for re-election in 2028. So he's got 2 years and they're going to either try to get rid of him unless he flips to independent or Republican. He could be an independent. That would be fine because then he can say, hey, I like some of the Republican views. I like some of the Democrat views. And that's fine if you're like that. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with you being an independent and doing that. I have a problem when you're a Republican and you vote with the Democrats more than you vote with the Republicans. I have a problem with that. Because right now, he's been voting with the Republicans more than Democrats because the Democrats do not care about. He said it best on an interview. He said they don't even care about the Constitution. He said, I'm always putting country before party. He said that many, many times when he does interviews. I would imagine he probably has lots of security because he will probably get because of the things he says. They don't care about the Constitution. They don't even know the Constitution. The things they say that are in the Constitution are not even in it. They do it all the time. That's why they sue the president and he wins all the time, because it's not in the Constitution, or it is and they don't know it. They do it, but either way, because they don't know the Constitution. So they just make up stuff to try to get away with it, right? So he'll be fine. He says, okay, I'm waiting for the lawsuit. I'm waiting to go to court because I'm going to win, and then that just proves everything I've said. Just like now, he's trying to stop birthright citizenship. Okay. Again, some people feel a certain way about this. Okay. Birthright citizenship was originally made for freed slaves and their children. Okay. Not so somebody can be on vacation and they have their baby here and now that baby's a citizen. If someone comes to your house to visit and has their baby in your house, it's not your baby, right? It's their baby. So it's the same concept. Now, if you're here on a visa or something like that, I guess that would be a special situation. And there's probably going to be something about that because that's totally different, right? It's not like you came here with the intention of having your baby here. You came here probably on a work visa. You were here for 2 years. You got pregnant while you were here. That is a totally different situation than I'm on vacation, I go on labor and have my baby, or I jumped the fence and I'm in here illegally and I have my baby. It's a totally different situation. So I would assume that they're going to have different situations. I'm really, really hoping that they fix this so that you just can't just have a baby here and have an anchor baby. Because they've proven, multiple people have proven of how many children have been born here and they just go back to their country and then they're a spy and they're this and they're that. That's the problem, is you don't have an allegiance to America just because you were born here because your parents were illegals or your parents were just visiting. You have an allegiance to their country, not the country you were born in. Now, if your parents came here, again, like I said, normally if they're on a visa or something like that, they are wanting to have history or make roots in America. They may have different ideas. They may feel different. So then the children would feel different. You know, they'd be like, oh, well, you know, I really like America. I really would rather be American than Russian, right? They may say, I'd rather live here. But majority of the time, they've found that these people are not interested in America. They're going by their parents' country and not assimilating here. And that's the problem. Where slaves would be freed, they want to be Americans. They're here, they have a life, their children are here, all that. They've been here, they're making a life. They're not going to leave here and go back to Africa, right? They're not going to do that. Why would they? They're in America. Back then, people appreciated America. Now, people don't appreciate America. So it's a difference. I know people feel certain ways about a certain thing, okay? To be an American is a special thing. It's not for everyone just to walk in and say, I'm an American. Because most of them don't. What do they say? I'm Cuban American. I'm Asian American. You don't even say you're American. You're American. That's what you are. If you're American, you're just American. You aren't say I'm Asian American, I'm German American, I'm Irish American. I don't do that. Most of my family came over here from German, but I don't say I'm German American. I'm American. This is what we have to be doing. We have to be making sure that we are conserving our values. The Democrats do not care about any of that. They hate this country. They hate the president. They hate us. Oh, I know what else I wanted to play. That's what I wanted to play, but I didn't know where it was. Where they're talking about, they don't want ID to vote, but he was talking about how Mondami said that you had to have two proofs of ID to shovel snow. And this is what they do. You need ID to go to a Democratic rally. You need ID for that, but not to vote. So that's just going to show what they're trying to do. Again, they're telling you who they are. Believe them. I know it's hard right now. We don't have people fighting for us. But our president is, his cabinet is. So we need to be making sure we're supporting them, because we lose the House or the Senate, we won't be able to support the president and his cabinet. They're all going to be getting impeached. And then this country is going to just be in chaos, which is what they want, because they love chaos. The enemy loves chaos. Yes, I blame the Republicans right now, because if they would have nuked the filibuster and passed all these policies, it wouldn't matter. They didn't. So now we're in a place where we have to pick, okay? The ones that we know are rhinos that are up for re-election, we primary them. We get conservative Republicans in there, okay? Do not vote Democrat because you're upset with the Republican Party right now. Because, again, it's not all Republicans, but it is all Democrats. They will always vote together. They will always vote to destroy us. We know how they're going to vote. We know it. So that's all I can give you as an advice. I really hope you take the advice. And please, if you live in the 14th District of Georgia, please vote for Clay Fuller tomorrow, if you have not already voted. And I thank you so much for watching. I ask that you would please like and share, comment. Again, I am on Facebook, Rumble, and YouTube. All my videos, all my podcasts that I've done are on those. I do a devotional in the morning, and that is on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook every morning. I try to do them every morning. So normally at least 5 days a week, I do them. So you can check those out if it's something you would be interested in. Also, if you're not interested, but you know somebody that would be, please share it to them. I'm doing it not to be rich and famous. I'm just doing it to share God's word. So I thank you so much. I hope that you have a safe and blessed evening, and hope to see you Friday.